that being said, I want to lead us into the Slenderiix and Accelerate, because I know that you have spent a lot of years in research and in doing, weight loss clinics and trials and studies, and I know you've done some things with HCG as well. And so many people are asking, why is this different than HCG? Is it the same as HCG? So please, can you tell us why this is different than anything on the market and why it is not HCG, in your words, so that we have the answer for this and know how to answer others when they're telling us that they believe that this is a version of that.
Oh, okay. This is interesting to me because, wow, okay, so how it is not HCG? Well, I guess we have to understand what HCG is to really be able to answer that question well. And when you first asked me that, I'm thinking, okay, well, why is orange juice not milk? Because it comes from an orange and milk comes from a cow. So similarly, HCG comes from, the HCG stands for human chorionic gonadotropin. Gonadotropin it has to do with either the male or the female reproductive organs, and it is the hormones that are secreted by either the male or female reproductive organs. So when we talk about human chorionic gonadotropin, that medicine has been harvested from human urine, specifically from the urine of pregnant women. And it is collected and sterilized and reduced into a pellet form. And then it is diluted with sterile water and taken as an injection. Now, this actually is a very old method of anti-aging medicine that originated hundreds of years ago in China, and the royalty were served by Chinese medicine doctors that would actually administer. Wow, there really isn't a politically correct way to explain this process. I'm not sure you really wanted all these details, but
well, just why it's different, why this is not HCG. I guess we could make it simpler.
Yeah. Okay. So, one, our product is made from plants. It's not made from human urine, and the human urine program is extremely sensitive. It's extremely limited in the foods. It was studied for over 50 years. I personally monitored hundreds of people that went through that program, and because it was initially rooted in Chinese medicine, and I thought it sounded like a good idea until I'd seen hundreds of people go through the program. And it is not an anti-aging strategy at all. I had tons of people that ended up in the emergency room, lots of people who lost all of their hair. Most of the people by 3 weeks were losing their sex drive. Their skin tone was terrible. It was not an anti-aging tonic. Now, I think the reason why people get them confused is because we talk about the ability to get rid of the abnormal fat stores, and that's pretty much the only language that I can see that's similar at all about the two programs.
I think, Marlisa, let me just interrupt for just a second. I think what it is that people are saying that there's, HCG natural drops all over the market and that there's tons of things that are like this, and they don't realize that this is proprietary. And I guess that's what I'm asking.
Okay. Well, ours are made from homeopathic herbs, and they are not there is a homeopathic HCG that is out there. And the understanding what homeopathy is, I guess, is really going to be a turning point here, because homeopathy is when you take something, picture it like you have a tea bag. Most people know how to make tea. You take the bag, you stick it in water, you steep it there. The essence of that goes into the water. It flavors the water. Its antioxidants properties, any medicinal value from those plants, it goes into that water. Homeopathy is created in a very similar way, and it can be created either using plant or animal tissues. Ours are based on herbal homeopathic remedies that are over 100 years old, and the combination of the different homeopathic remedies, all plant-based ones that we've used, have come together to make our patented exclusive formula. So there isn't another company out there that has what we have. And the homeopathic HCG is a diluted form of the human urine-derived HCG, the human chorionic gonadotropin. So the sourcing of the ingredients, they're completely different ingredients. So they might sound similar, but they're not. They're as different as orange juice and milk. One comes from plants, one comes from animals, and they're not the same at all. So moving on to what it does for the body. The program that we have that goes with this, we have a 1,250 calorie program. You would never, ever be able to lose pound number 1 on an HCG protocol with that. I had people that did the 500 calorie diet. They weighed their food. They measured it. They ate everything exactly the same, but if they ate one almond or if they tasted the soup that they were making for their family for dinner, it would completely break their chemistry, and it would take 3 days to be able to get back to where they were. I mean, they would gain a pound or 2 or 3 from that one, and I'm not kidding, one almond. So it's not like a calorie is a calorie. It's the special type of chemistry that only makes that work, where you can only eat 500 calories of certain foods. It's extremely limited, very, very difficult for people to follow, and the people that don't follow it exactly to the T, which there's a large percentage of them that don't because it's so limiting, they have extremely bad side effects, and they don't have that body resculpting that the ads promise. If you have one thing different, you end up looking like you've been in a concentration camp and you're starving, and then your hair starts falling out and you have really bad side effects. So the reason why this is different is because we have 2.5 times more calories. We have a wide variety of proteins, vegetables, and fruits, as well as healthy fats. And the healthy fats are so important for rebalancing your hormone system. And that includes the raw avocado, sprouted walnuts, almonds, pumpkin seeds. You can also have those nuts or seeds or their cold-pressed oils to make a salad dressing with. These things are really foundational for being able to create health and detox, because every single cell in the whole body has an outer membrane that's made of fat. So the quality of fat that's coming into your diet, you are what you eat. And specific fats have a different molecular structure that allows them to transport oxygen molecules within the body. And we know that specifically something like cancer cannot grow. Cancer cells cannot multiply if there's oxygen present, and they cannot thrive unless there is sugar present. So we know in homeopathic medicine and in naturopathic and clinical and integrative medicine, we know that if you cut off the sugar supply and you flood the body with oxygen by putting in these special fats, the cancer cells will just die on their own. So this isn't really an anti-cancer weight loss program, but the foods that we have in here are extremely therapeutic, and they're put in here for a specific reason to cause excellent function within the body that's going to cause health. So the opposite of that would be a French fry fat. When you have fast food fat or soybean oil or canola oil, you cannot substitute the fats that are on the healthy fat list for any of these other oils, no matter how many billboards in America will tell you that those are good fats or they don't have trans fats in them, or we think olive oil is the end-all be-all of healthy fats. It's not on the list. Don't eat that or you won't have good results, because the special fats that we're using are the ones that transport oxygen molecules 2 at a time. And they not only create long-term health, but they also speed up your metabolism, and it speeds up the cell turnover within the body, because anything that causes your body to be flooded with oxygen is going to speed up your metabolism. So most people that have a low metabolism are dehydrated, and they have low cellular energy and a lack of oxygen at the deep tissue areas. So we can change all of those things in 24 hours by just changing the fuel that's going into your body. And the foods that are specifically here working together with the homeopathic herbal preparations that are a patented combination, these things are really rooted in being adaptogenic herbs or anti-stress herbs. And the combination of the blend of homeopathic herbs in the Slenderiix, and then the natural B12 that's in the Accelerate, along with an extra booster dose of the adaptogens ashwagandha and rhodiola rosea, and the B vitamin biotin. It really helps to strengthen hair and nail growth. All of these things work together to really fortify the hormone system, to allow balance to come back, so that you end up not only shrinking your body, but you end up with healthier hair and nails and skin, and glowing with health. And really, the thing that is so exciting to me, and as far as from an anti-aging medicine perspective, is that we know that people who store fat around their waistline, that is a physical symptom of a much bigger problem that's going on inside their body. That specific type of fat is called visceral fat, and it is the deadly fat that poisons your body. When you start accumulating fat abnormally around the waist, we've understood in the last 5 years that it turns into another endocrine organ, and your endocrine system is anything that has to do with anywhere that hormones are made. So all of your male or female reproductive organs, as well as the organs like the thyroid and the adrenal glands, things that contribute to your metabolism as well. When you have extra fat around your middle, it becomes another additional accessory endocrine organ, but it is not one that works to your favor. Once you start accumulating fat there, it secretes and generates more toxic hormones and creates additional stress in the body, as well as just it's almost like it just flips your switch all the way over to where you are now in permanent fat storage mode. So this is why when people go on these reduced calorie diets where they just say, oh, you know what, I just need to eat less and exercise more, or count up my points or whatever, when your switch has been flipped so far because you've got this, you've become upside down with your hormones that are being generated, you have to have something that is going to strong arm your ship to be steered back in the right direction. You can't just eat less, because that's going to generate cortisol, more stress hormones that are really going to create a more deeply seated problem. Initially, you might be able to lose. Most people that go on just calorie deprivation plans that are not based in quality nutrition and that don't have the anti-stress benefits of the Slenderiix and the Accelerate formulas, they initially might be able to lose between 10 and 15 pounds. But then their starvation mechanism kicks in, and they plateau for a long time, and they bottom out, and they get headaches, and they go back into fat storage mode. And people get extremely frustrated, and they keep trying, or they start exercising even more, and they just create this vicious cycle of bottoming out and plateauing. And it's extremely frustrating. It's really, really damaging to the emotions and the psyche. It makes people feel like they're huge failures, and it's just because they don't understand the stress syndrome that has been set up in their bodies from these from the calorie deprivation. So we want to have a moderate amount of calories. So 1,250 calories is considered the threshold for a low-calorie diet. If you eat less than that, you're not going to be able to get enough nutrients to really fuel your organs for optimal production and metabolism. So that's really, really key, is that when I look at people's body shapes and I can say, okay, I can see that they're on permanent fat storage, and then I look at their blood work and I can see, okay, this one's going to either go towards cancer and this one's going to go towards heart disease. When you have that type of fat storage that's generating those hormones, it's going to create our number 1 and 2 causes of death in America are heart disease as well as cancer. So we know that they're truly preventable diseases because they're both rooted in this type of obesity. So truly, to me, this is a life-saving program. It allows people to turn back the clock and to have a detour from going down the highway and being one of the average statistics. And that's because when we put in this powerful nutrition and we rebalance our chemistry using these homeopathic preparations, it changes the way that your body responds to the food that you eat. And it allows you to have, to be free from the cravings that were addictions that are part of the whole processed food. The last time we had a team call and we talked quite a bit about glutamates and how they upset the hypothalamus pituitary axis. and that this is the root of the stress handling syndrome that puts us over the edge and puts us into permanent fat storage mode. So even if you are exercising more and eating less, you are not losing weight. It's because this HPA axis has been disturbed, and you need to do something big to be able to turn it back the way that it was before. And this is really your key to being able to get there. So the visceral fat, or the fat around the waistline, this is the fat that suffocates the organs, choking them out of their fullest potential to work at their highest metabolism. So when we're able to look at the bodies of the people that have done this program, and we see that they don't look like they've been starving in a concentration camp, that they have the exact same body shape, but they're just smaller, which is typically what I see when people go on these, weight loss club plans or food delivery things where they're just limiting their calories and they're not doing anything else. Or you read the box and you see what's in the box, and it's 10 out of the 15 ingredients are some form of sugar or starch, and the rest are flavoring agents and chemicals. It's just making your body more toxic. It's clogging up your liver and your kidneys even more, and it's just keeping your blood sugar imbalanced with all that extra sugar, and it doesn't have enough protein. It doesn't have the healthy fats in there that really nourishes and regenerates your cells and creates health. So when you see those types of things happening, you know that you might be able to initially get your body a little bit smaller, but you are just stepping on the gas and driving full speed ahead towards being an average statistic and one of those two, leading causes of death. So in order to turn that around, we need to learn how to create the healthy lifestyle patterns of eating real food along with the homeopathic herbs. It's like the 911 that we need. It's very difficult for people to give up eating convenience foods because of the chemicals that they're laced with and how those affect the brain chemistry and create food addictions and chemical addictions to diet sodas and regular sodas. They are food addictions. And basically the homeopathic products, it's like creating a bridge that gets you to the other side. It gets you to where you want to go. I hear people all the time that tell me they want to be eating this way, or they wish they could, but they've tried it and they just don't have the willpower. And I think that's the thing that's so exciting is this is, we've all heard the saying, build a bridge and get over it. Well, it's easier said than done unless you have tried this product. And a lot of, going back to my original mention of every problem that we have is either a deficiency or a toxicity. And when you have an addictive craving, that's a sign that your body is severely deficient in nutrients. Your brain isn't telling you the wrong thing. Your brain is telling you that you need something, but you don't have the right things in front of you, and you're reaching for the wrong things when you're going after the Diet Coke and the Doritos and things like that. This, when you have the willpower and you're ready for something to change your life, this is going to be like pressing the easy button for you because it soothes the brain chemistry with the anti-stress properties of these preparations. It nourishes the brain tissue with the natural methyl forms of the B vitamins and those adaptogenic herbs. And then we always recommend having the optimals and the omega-3s from the Biomega to be able to help create balanced sources of healthy fats, and that fast forwards you. I use quite a bit of the Omega Q in order to get faster results with the weight loss. I use at least 6 in the morning and 6 at night, which is quite a bit of Omega Q, but most people have been eating all of the wrong fats. And it's all about having the right amount of balance and to be able to correct that ratio where we've been eating too many canola oil, too much soybean oil, and things like that. We need to be able to correct that imbalance by initially adding a lot more of the omega-3s to really ignite that fat-burning process. So that's basically, to me, the big difference between the two programs.
I have a question.